Hey YouTube, welcome back to the channel. On today's episode I'm unboxing this and I'm going to start to fit it into the Focus. T-minus 2 weeks until February testing. Wish me luck. Right, welcome back. So, my DigiDash arrived all the way from Hong Kong. It's a Syncotech dashboard. It's the one that my good friend MJA races with in his estate. It is a Bluetooth modular sort of dashboard. So the dashboard is powered on up by the steering wheel and it gets all of its information fed to it by a Bluetooth module that's sort of further under the dash. So let's unbox this bad boy and see what we get. Instructions, very helpful for instructing, but I am a typical bloke. But handy that this is mainly built for the Australian market, and the Aussies, they don't go for duff products, so that already gives me a bit more confidence that this is going to be a good one. Ooh. So 2 boxes. Let's get this first one open. What we got in here? Ooh. So this looks like the module, so it's only a compact little thing. So that is the module, that's all the ports that go into the side of it, so that's what all the sensors and everything is going to plug into it. So I need to mount that somewhere, probably in front of the dash. And the pièce de résistance. Oh. So that's it there, one screen. Very nice. So that'll come up with all the information. It's got shift lights. So that's that bit unboxed. Now the reason I've gone for this, I do like my needle tacho, don't get me wrong, but I think it is a bit slow for the response of the engine, and I was limiter bashing a couple of times. And then box of sensors, which I will go through shortly. Right, so before I look at the sensors and everything like that, the first thing I've got to do, or the first job I've got to do, I think this might well be a 2-parter, because realistically the first job I've got to do is make sure my digital screen fits in there. Right, this is the bit where I make sure I don't bugger this up. This pulls out. I've got to undo this. Yeah, I know. But yeah, this is the bit where I've got to make sure I don't bugger it up and make sure this comes off. I'm going to take this plate off, make a blanking plate, and that's what the DigiDash is going to bolt to. Wish me luck. Right, I'm back. So number one, old controls are out. So excuse the bracket that just fell down there. So this plate, I'm going to make another blank plate, probably wrap it with a bit of black wrap that my neighbour's just kindly donated to me. Piers outside, say hi Piers. So that's just going to be blank, and then I'll mount the DigiDash straight onto that. And this is the module that you saw earlier, so I've taken all the leads out, put them all in, the ones that I need, the boost control that I'm going to need for the EcoBoost conversion, and the few other bits I'm going to put back in the box and then put them safely up on the shelf in a safe place, so naturally they'll go missing. And I've just put a bit of the old extinguisher sleeve on there, shrink wrapped it at both ends, and then I've just got bits of aluminum here, so that will sit inside the car, probably quite close to the bulkhead. These controls, these bits will then go through to the outside of the car here, and that just gives me enough chance. Basically I'll just put these through the bulkhead with a grommet and then mastic around them and make sure that that's tickety-boo, and then we'll go from there. The next job, so I've got the old fascia out, all the gauges are out, they're up there, out the way. I'm selling them on to a friend of mine, and I'm just going to trace around this, cut it out. It's going to be blank. I don't need to cut any of these holes out. I'll need to drill the holes, not these two, but all the holes around the outside I'll need to drill them, because that's where it mounts, and then I can drill ready for this. So it's literally 3 holes, one for this bolt at the back, 2 bolt holes there, and then this should bolt to it, and then the screen just slides onto this. Happy days. Oh, I might drill one bolt so I can thread the wire through for the power. Easily done. Got a knife here that's just scouring it and making a shade in the resin around the outside. So I can mark that out and then get the tin snips out and cut it, because carbon is a bugger to cut. And mark it there. Right, done, let's cut it. Right. Old and new. So it's a bit rough, this, so I'm just going to give it a little key over, give it a wipe over, and then look to wrap it in black, and then I'll mark it and we'll drill. So small update, I've been joined by a little person. Soph, say hi.
Hi.
Do you like Uncle Robert's race car?
Yeah.
Is it fast?
Yeah.
Hey, update. Family came over and obviously the time lapse, it ran out of battery. So that is the screen mounted on there. I'm just wiring in the power there, and I'm going to put an inline fuse on this one. And then eventually we should be able to get power to that bad boy. And then it's just the matter of the module wiring in. So we'll go with that. Right, moment of truth in all of this. Now I've got the dash fitted, everything's on. I have made a fuse holder in the back of this as a temporary measure, because I haven't got any inline fuses or inline fuse holders. So I've made one with a spade fuse and a couple of bits just to test it. So let's see. Oh yes, there we go. Obviously it's just going to flash at me weight linking for ages because I haven't got the module plumbed in yet. So that is the next job. So it's Saturday night. I'm going to carry on for a bit, get some bits put in, and then hopefully we can fire this bad boy up. Morning, good morning. It is Sunday, I'm back. So we got the dash in yesterday, and that powers up at the front okay. So that side of it I don't have to touch. So what we're fitting today is the other side of it, is all the information that goes to the module here, and fitting all the sensors, wiring it all up, and then in theory I should be able to start the car and get everything. Yeah, so let's get started. First one's done, which is a coolant sensor, which is actually in the bottom of the thermostat. So I drained it out as best I could, still spilt some coolant, I've topped it up, put the new sensor in. Now I've got to go around the back and do oil pressure and oil temperature, which both go into the side of the block. Now I've got an oil pressure mechanical hose leading off that anyway, so I should have a fitting. But on the other side of it, I've got a bung that sits in the block. Hopefully the Allen head fitting in there, I can get that sat in sometimes, because they just corrode for no bloody reason at all. Either that, or I might have to go shopping for a T-piece so I can fit both. But ideally you want oil pressure and oil temperature, because if for some reason you do lose coolant and you don't realise it, and the coolant either drops, the temperature drops, or stays level, and then you watch the oil temperature slowly creep up, that means the oil temperature is cooling the engine, well, trying to cool the engine, and it takes all the heat, and then that's when you get a failure. That's what you want to avoid. So the good thing is about this dash, it is a cheaper dash than some of the other products you can get. But the good thing is I can still use this dash to set alarms. So if it gets too hot, if the oil pressure dips down or the oil temperature goes above a certain level, the dash will come up and tell me, so I can either switch off, assess it, see where I am, and go from there, which is pretty handy on a racetrack, especially in these things. And it'd be handy for EcoBoost as well. So part of the reason why I fitted it. It's worked on AJ's for ages, so there's no reason why it can't work on mine. You know that famous adage of you are one broken bolt away from a 3-hour job? Well, it's 3 hours later, and this is the remnants of the adapter that the oil pressure and oil temperature sender screws into in the side of the block. I just managed to get this out. I'm a very lucky man, because yeah, that could have meant curtains for Snap. So at the moment I'm running without an oil temp sensor until I can get another adapter, which I will try and get during the week and fit during the week, certainly before Snap. So yeah, I'm a lucky boy. Right, we are back. I've made some progress. You round. So the module's wired in. That's now on a few circuit off of one of the old gauge circuits, so that takes care of that. Ooh. So just waits to link for the Bluetooth to cut in. So the beeping you can hear at the moment is an oil pressure warning because the gauge isn't, the sender isn't wired in yet, so it's reading 0 bar, so understandably it's going to alarm. I've set all the alarms up on it already. It's reading the voltage good, the water temp isn't wired in either, and I'm going to order that T-piece that hopefully means I can get oil pressure and oil temperature as well. I can cycle through that, but while I do that, start her up, shall I? We have RPM. Right, so there we go. We've got RPM, we've got everything set up on it. We've got all the alarms set in it, so all I need to do is put the wiring through the bulkhead, tidy the wiring up, and sort all that out. So I'll be honest, I think I'm going to leave it there for this week. So that's this week for the low res ramble, and next time, fingers crossed, she will be ready for the Snetterton test. And then of course we're at Snetterton testing with a lot of our good friends on the package. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.